We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day is going well. It is Monday. We're starting another week. I hope you all had a great holiday. If you celebrate Easter, I hope it was a great one for you. If you don't celebrate Easter, well, I hope you had a good Sunday. You got to take those times, those days, and spend time with family. Just relax, enjoy a meal together, reminisce, do whatever you got to do. But we've so much bullshit going on in this country. We need those breaks, and hopefully you had one earlier today. Now we're headed into another week, and already the shit show has begun. There's some strange things and some upsetting things happening. I just want to make a point. I want to make a point about when you watch social media. Now, this could come from the Democratic side, the Republican side, or somebody in the middle. There's always somebody out here trying to scare people, trying to upset people, trying to spur you on in hopes that they can gain views or followers or what have you. Now, leading up to this day, the day I'm recording this is April 20th. There were people out there that told you, oh, news in, this came from Reuters even, news in, the rumor is that TikTok is going to shut down on April 20th just to shove it in the face of Donald Trump. And I understood that point of view, how China is just pushing back on Donald Trump, but it still never made any sense because there's a lot of money on the table when it comes to TikTok. A lot of people count on it. A lot of people make money off TikTok just to shut the switch off permanently. That made no fucking sense. So I said, don't expect TikTok to be shut down on April 20th. And lo and behold, here we are. Here I am on fucking TikTok on April 20th doing what we always do. Now, I don't know what the future of TikTok is, but today, all those people that said they were shutting down today didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. Now, there's some other people, too. Remember the story, people coming out and saying, oh, April 20th, that's the day. That's the day when Donald Trump will impose martial law. He'll put the Insurrection Act into effect. It's almost certain they're going to do it. Once again, here we are on April 20th, and nothing like that has happened. I'm tired of people using fear to try to gain views and follows. Don't listen to most of the shit that you hear. If you hear something that interests you, even from me, check it out. Find out for yourself what you believe and what's true. Don't count on anybody telling you the truth because there's so many people out there that just fucking don't do that. Now, I'm going to pull some of the regular guests in. I've got some of the regulars popping up. Let's see who we got here. We got Rebecca, TJ, and Will to start with. First of all, I want to say to Rebecca, happy birthday. You just had a birthday party yesterday. I hope all went well. TJ said it sounded a little crazy. I can only imagine.
It did. It was crazy. TJ was hungover all day. Lots of Jello shots, but he's okay. And happy birthday to you too, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, mine's a little while back, about 4 days ago. But I'm considerably older than you, Rebecca.
Yeah, my 50th is tomorrow. So
that's what I was going for. I was going to see if you mentioned what your birthday is, because a lot of women won't. And so I thought instead of asking you how old you are, I'd let you see if you'd offered up.
Everybody thinks I'm 35, so I'll take it.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm 65. I have this nephew. A grandnephew, I think is, and he is autistic, very bright kid, very articulate kid. But he was several years ago, or a couple of years ago, we were sitting with him, and my wife says to him, "How old do you think I am?" And we were 63 at the time. And the kid looks at my wife, and he goes, "Well, you look 39. That's my guess." And she says, "Oh, thank you."
I love your
I go, "Well, how old?" I go, "How old do you think I am?" He looks at me and he goes, "About 63. So he didn't cut me any motherfucking slack. So Rebecca, you say TJ the plumber was hungover today and had kind of a bad attitude. What was the difference from any other fucking day?
his attitude was fine. There was just a lot of grunting and groaning going on all day because it's
Okay.
my birthday weekend. So I made all the food. He had to clean up.
She worked me like a dog. What do you? All day I had to clean up all the shit.
Wait a minute. I think we're missing a step here. That TJ isn't offering up. Rebecca made the food. TJ ate the fucking food. Then he had to clean it up. So don't bitch so much.
But
He may
one
not
thing
eat much. Neither one of us ever eat much at these parties. When we have these huge parties, like we have like 50 people.
Now, hold on.
last night. The food was gone. Like there was no food left to be had.
Yeah.
It was insane, and we had like insane amounts of food. And
Now hold on. There was 50 people here yesterday, and I had to clean up after all that shit. So it wasn't a small task by any stretch of the imagination.
He kept saying,
TJ,
we did everything in the garage because it poured rain here yesterday.
Yeah.
So we had like the whole party, all the food and picnic tables in the garage. And he kept saying, "Babe, the garage is a disaster." I'm like, have fun. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you're a union guy. Stop bitching. Get to work.
No, TJ should know if you're married. I learned this a long time ago as a retired Teamster. There is no union contract and union time or wages in a marriage.
No,
Hey,
No.
Will, I took my union breaks today, though. I'll tell you that.
He did.
Jeez.
He bought a brand new video game system. So that was the first thing he did today was put together the video game system and then played that for a while and then cleaned.
Yeah. Filing a grievance with your wife usually doesn't work well. No.
Yeah.
I lose
Well, I want to introduce the other person that's on the panel. Not surprising he jumped in before I could do that. Is Will. Will is a regular guest on the TikTok Lives and on the Rational Boomer podcast. He was just on the other day. Seems like I spend more time with you, Will, than I do my own wife, and my wife appreciates it.
That's a scary thought unto itself. No, the podcast actually, I'm getting feedback that it went really well.
It did.
I want to bring up something that we missed because I missed it myself about Gavin Newsom. Wednesday, Newsom had a news conference because the state of California is suing the Trump regime over tariffs and trade.
Right.
Is suing the Trump regime over tariffs and trade.
Right.
And someone asked him about the Abrego Garcia situation and the due process. He called it a distraction, that it's an 80-20 problem, that the Republicans have 80% approval and Democrats are getting distracted and we shouldn't worry about it. To the point that Christopher Van Hollen said it's not a distraction. This is about due process. So again, Democrats are doing stupid because they're afraid of stepping up in things they think are lost causes. And when is the Constitution a lost cause, Gavin? Now that kind of, I heard that and go, are you out of your mind?
Well, I heard this before, and I think it's a lot of bullshit that people are saying, he's got them thinking about Abrego Garcia, and they're not worried about the economy. No, motherfucker, we're worried about the economy. We're just putting that on the pile of bullshit that Donald Trump is doing right now. I watch Republicans on TikTok now and again, and how they'll say that Van Hollen's committed a violation of the Logan Act. Not true. He's a sitting U.S. senator. They just come up with anything to try to divert, distract, or delay the whole thing, and it's pretty childish. The one story I heard today that I know we're going to talk about, the one story about the whole Signalgate thing. The Signalgate thing was first and foremost in everybody's mind up until the tariffs, and then the tariffs were hot up until Abrego Garcia, so there always seems to be something. But the Signalgate can't get out of our reach too far because that was the single greatest security breach in American history. And you think, okay, he's on this unsecure app with all the muckety-mucks talking about bombing Yemen and the Houthis, and it was a horrible security failure, okay? And you think, how could it get worse than that? How could it be worse than that? And we find out today that what happened was, in addition to that Signal chat, there was another Signal chat, I think that same day, talking about the same things, talking about high level, top secret type information. But Pete Hegseth was talking to his brother and his wife on Signal.
Oh boy.
And his attorney.
And his
That's
attorney.
good.
And so, I mean, this is just getting outrageous, and I'm hearing a lot about Pete Hegseth. A bunch of people are getting fired, a bunch of people are leaving. It sounds there's a lot of upheaval in the Defense Department, and even some Republicans are saying, no, you got to get rid of this guy.
Aaron Parnas is reporting that it's total chaos in the Pentagon right now because he's running around paranoid because everyone's leaking stuff. He's basically knows he's. This is what happens when you have a TV personality who thinks he knows what he's doing. Even though there's one sitting in the White House, this guy is totally out of his depth. He has no idea how big the Defense Department is, the logistics of the Defense Department, and he has no fucking. He doesn't respect it.
No,
He doesn't
he
respect
doesn't.
the military. He doesn't respect anyone.
Trucker T just made a comment in the comments here that makes this even worse. How could it get worse than talking to his wife and his lawyer and his brother about top secret shit? Trucker T apparently says he did it on his personal phone too. Fucking
Perfect.
brilliant.
And what about her emails?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
emails.
Yeah.
The thing about it is that you got a guy who's could only get part-time on Fox News, is an absolute joke, has some criminal problems and some domestic abuse problems. Who knew he'd do a bad job? God, I'm just taken aback.
Right.
It's just absolutely appalling. I'm going to bring somebody up here. Let's see who we got. Okay, this is one I know I'm going to like because she goes by the name Optimistic.
Yes.
I love somebody who's optimistic.
Is good. She's good.
Hey, Optimistic, how you doing?
Uh-oh.
Optimistic, are you there?
That's strange.
All right. Well, we'll get her. We'll get her later if she probably. Let's check another one. Trucker T was out there for a little while. Now he's not there. Let's take this person. See what they say. The name is Joby, I believe. Joby Price, are you there?
Yes, sir. I am here. I'm 52
Well, good to
years
meet you.
old. I'm from the red state of Louisiana, which I'm not happy with. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I love your content, and I'm telling you, it's on point. Keep doing what you're doing, but I'm gonna tell you like this: you is real, 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 real.
I appreciate that very much. That's the one thing. When I started doing TikToks, it was just kind of for myself. And then when I found out other people were getting something out of it, I thought, fuck, this is great. This is like an honor. Now I have a responsibility to keep talking. So I appreciate the support. I'm glad you find it helpful. That wasn't my intention at first, but if that's the way it works out, perfect.
Everything happens for a reason because I work with people that has no clue, and then I show them your video, and you explain to them, and they is hush mouth, and they
Really?
can't say nothing.
We shut some of those bitches up, huh?
Exactly.
Nice.
That's why, man, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I don't know, but you was my savior because I can shut them up.
Well, and that's the point. Somebody like me doing TikToks, I can't fix or change anything. The only thing you can hope to do is give information to other folks who give it to other folks to give it to other folks and kind of spread the word a little bit. So without you doing the things you're doing, I'm basically just some big old dumb white guy talking here.
No, because I'm a big little black one, but they see what you saying, they can't say nothing.
Well, yeah, Joby, that's a good point. And I feel an extra responsibility for saying these things I say because the enemy out there looks a lot like me. Big, dumb, old, heterosexual white guys. And when some other big, dumb, heterosexual white guy says it, they can't discount it because I came across the border or because I'm a person of color or because my sexual orientation is different. I'm just like those motherfuckers, and they get confused by that.
Exactly. And when I show them your video, they just like, uh, uh, that's that's what my boss told me to do.
I love it, Joby. Thank you very much. I'm glad I can be of service, and if you ever need me to say something specific, just send me a DM or send me something to rationalboomer@gmail.com, and I'll do you a personal video and tell them to shut the fuck up.
Hey, but look, go ahead, keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna follow you. I want to sit here and sit on the panel. I don't know if you're gonna bait some maggots up in your panel or whatever, so you can roast them or whatever. I don't know.
I don't usually do that because it's kind of pointless. Every once in a while, a Trump-la-fuck will come up, and here's the thing, Joby. I get a Trump-la-fuck up, and I feel so good tearing them up, and then afterward, I feel kind of dirty and kind of waste of time because I know they didn't learn anything. So if they come up, they come up. If they don't, I'm cool with that. You people are far more important to me than any dumb Trump-la-fuck.
That's because we got education. They don't, but I understand.
Exactly. Well, Joby, thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to pull some other people up.
Hey,
I
look,
appreciate you coming on, and thanks for the kind words.
It's an honor
Thanks,
to
Joby.
talk with you for the first time because I've been following you, and it's an honor. Thank you, sir, and keep spitting the truth.
Thanks, Joby.
Well, I've been
brother.
married 42 years, and my wife has been trying to get me to shut up since the beginning. So, yeah, I'm not stopping. I'm just going to keep rattling off the shit I rattle off.
Keep spitting the truth and keep it real. Keep it real. That's
I
real
appreciate
talk.
it. I appreciate it, Joby. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
All right, I love hearing those. Not just for the pat on the back, but that people feel like they're getting some out of not just what I do, but what all of us do. Because you guys speak the same things I'm speaking, and that's important.
Hey, I wanted to point something out that came up in the chat earlier. Howard was in here, and today is his birthday, so I want to wish Howard a happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Howard.
Howard P. Yeah, he's in Western Minnesota.
birthday,
He's been on the podcast many times. Happy birthday.
We're
Howard's
almost birthday twins, Howard.
Yeah. Howard's younger than me. Rebecca's younger than me. I guess fucking everybody's younger than me. I finally hit that
Okay.
age where I can't deny that I'm old.
Ed's not younger than you.
Okay, so I need to
Yeah.
ask Timothy Stryker. He keeps asking this question in the chat. What is a double dipping general? What the hell are you talking about?
I have no idea what he keeps
saying that.
asking, and I don't know. I have no
And
idea what
I
that
asked
is.
him to explain himself, and I'm like going, okay, and
What is it? What's a double dipping
what is
general?
it? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
I'm not sure. He's been on the show before. He's been on this before, so he's safe. I'm going to bring up Trucker T because I saw him hanging out there, and he usually has some interesting input. Trucker T, welcome. What the hell's on your mind?
Oh, thanks, Mike, for having me up. Happy birthday, Becca.
Thanks, T.
And TJ, stop complaining.
Hey, I saw
Yeah.
a picture. I saw a picture of Trucker T today, and that motherfucker had hair in his
I know.
picture.
When he was like 17 in the military.
Yeah,
It was
hair.
great. Yeah.
That motherfucker had hair in that picture.
Why did I have to wake him up? Anyway, I just want to talk about that Peter Hegseth thing. Is still bothering me. That even on the news
Yeah.
tonight, they said not only did he do those things, but he didn't use his government phone. He used his personal phone, and he's taking
Wow.
his wife around with him to all these meetings. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, I get pillow talk, right? You can have pillow talk, whatever. Nobody's going to know. But when you're putting it out there like that on your personal cell phone and cutting off the surveillance to Russia, it's dumb.
Bro, are you surprised though? Really? I mean, they're the most incompetent bunch of fucking morons that could have ever been selected. like I told Mike months ago, it's a clown car of nominations, and they're the most incompetent group of fucking morons that could ever been have collectively collected to have these cabinet positions. I mean, are we really surprised that this is happening? Because I'm not.
Not at this point.
No.
So who's Petey going to blame this time? Because he's fired the other two. This one's on him.
All the Midas touching people, Aaron Parnas, I think a lot of these people are feeling like he's going to get fired. And that's why I told people when Pete Hegseth got nominated and approved, keep in mind in the first term, Donald Trump had 4 or 5 different defense directors. They don't stay around very long because they fuck up and Donald Trump gets mad or they get indicted or whatever the fuck they do. So Pete Hegseth is probably going to go by the wayside. It'll be interesting to see who we get to replace him. You know, I'm thinking Pauly Shore might be a likely prospect, somebody of that level.
You know what? Pauly Shore would probably be way better.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe Carrot Top, who knows? But that's bothered me. I don't want to hold the panel up from the rest of your guests, because I know you got a lot in here, but I just, that bugs the hell out of me, and I hope that they clear out his entire administration, the Pete Hegseth administration. Everybody that he has working for him, go.
T, could you bring it, because you've been in the military, so you know how this thing can work. If he goes, could it get worse? Find someone worse?
You mean like a person worse?
Yeah, I mean someone even worse than Pete Hegseth, maybe not as incompetent, but with a different agenda that's even worse than what. Because for me, he's just trying to look good. What do you even get someone who has an agenda to do some serious harm?
Well,
I mean,
I
that's
think this time they'll put somebody in there that's got military brass on them, not some part-time host.
Yeah, they can't afford to look fucked up the second time. They'll do somebody better, but the bottom line is it's a matter of if they are sycophants of Donald Trump, because Pete Hegseth doesn't have any agenda. It's all Donald Trump's agenda. Whoever goes in there is just going to do Donald Trump's bidding. I think the thing that frustrates me most about Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, it's not just the incompetence, it's not just the evil aspect of it, it's the absolute arrogance that I can do whatever the fuck I want and I can get away with it. That's the troubling thing to me, because I think that's the most dangerous attitude to have. I can do anything and I'm so smart, and they're not. And when they make those mistakes, some of those are irreparable.
Have you seen the new?
I mean, if you look at, I'm sorry, Chief.
That's all right. Have you seen a new Lincoln Project video that they've got out now about Donald Trump?
No.
They put a new one out yesterday, and it is very, very poignant. And they get right down into the weeds of it.
Is that the knives
I'll have
out
to check
one?
that out.
No, they were just saying that they're telling on you, Donald, and it's a lady talking with a soft voice, and
Oh, yeah.
she just keeps saying that they're playing you, Donnie. They're out for themselves, Donnie. They're enriching themselves because of you, and all. I mean, it was very, very good.
Thank you very much. Annie in the comments said she had some suggestions for defense directors, and she might be onto something. She's suggesting Kid Rock or Scott Baio, and I could see them as likely prospects with Donald Trump. Those two fucking clowns, those two has-beens. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to pull up somebody here. Her name is Mary. Let's hope she's available. We have TJ the plumber, Will, and Rebecca with us. And Mary, how you doing? What's on your mind today?
Well, I'm fine, and I got something to say, and it might not be what you're talking about. I want to ask you guys on the panel and everybody. First thing when I got up this morning, and I got on TikTok, there Donald Trump was, and it was him, and I seen his mouth moving, but he said how proud he was that eggs were down 80%. 87%. Where the hell at? What world? What
Not
part?
in my supermarket.
Yeah, not.
Did
not
you
in
guys
our
see
grocery
that?
store, I can tell you that.
It's a fucking joke.
I made deviled eggs for the party last night. They were not down 80%. I can tell you that.
I'll tell you this, Mary. I'll tell you this, Mary. Donald Trump doesn't have a speechwriter. He doesn't need a speechwriter because everything he says, everything he talks about is pulled directly from his ass. And then he just
he had
says
a
it.
speechwriter, he ignored them.
Yeah, he never.
Yeah.
He goes off script and he looks stupider and stupider by the minute. Every
You
time
know,
he,
everything that comes out of his fucking mouth is a lie. I don't understand why everybody besides us Democrats can't see that. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think any of us can understand that, Mary. None of us can understand how they do not see
I
it.
keep waiting every day. I'm like,
well,
today's going to be the
Yeah,
day. I'm
us
going to get
too.
on.
Us too.
Mary, I can tell you one thing for sure. The shit that's coming down the pike right now, that it's going to teach these motherfuckers a lesson. Because what's about to happen is going to hurt them in their pocketbooks. And,
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's going to make them realize that Donald Trump is a fuck up. And it's unfortunate that we have to sink to that low to finally make these dumb motherfuckers realize that he's a fucking an idiot and a scourge to this country. But what's about to happen in the next 6 months is gonna be the reckoning for all these Trump supporters.
But
Yeah, it's
my
going to be a
thing is-
reckoning. It may not take that long.
I know what my thing is. Why? That's too long. Every day he's fucking up our world. Every day.
Yeah.
Something's got to happen. I don't know what soon. I don't know.
I think it's going to happen faster than 6 months. We'll start to see the raise in prices probably in mid-May, starting the raise. I think, I don't know how many people turned out for this protest on the 19th, but it had to be bigger than what happened on the 5th. And the irritation and the pushback is growing every day. I mean, there's only so long you can handle this.
What's going on Tuesday in Texas? Because a lot of creators on here are saying a bunch of them are going to Texas. What's that for?
I'm not
You know?
familiar with that.
There's like
So,
Johnny and God, I don't have a good memory.
That's all right.
Johnny, I can't remember. There's about 4 or 5 of them. They're all going, and I
well,
don't know
Mary,
what it's for.
Well, Mary, we have enough people in the comments. I have a feeling somebody will let us know
Oh yeah.
if we don't figure it out. So there's protests going on every day, frankly. The ones on the 5th and the 19th were the biggest because they were in all 50 states. But I think the protest will continue until something is done with this fucking clown in
Do you
office.
think they help the protest? Do
Yeah.
they help?
Yeah, I do. How old are you, Mary?
I'll be hitting. I'm not 70, but
Okay, well, you're close to my age, right? You remember the
Yeah.
Vietnam War, right? You remember all the hippies protesting against the
I
Vietnam War?
do. But listen, I never ever. I've been up here before, and I told you I never ever was interested in politics. I never voted until I voted for Joe Biden. I never
No,
in
I
my
understand
life
that.
voted.
I understand that. The point I'm trying to make is that in the 60s and 70s, when all these hippies that everybody tried to discount protested, and one of the main reasons why the Vietnam War ended is because of those protesters. So yeah, protesting does help.
Good gosh, I don't know. I wish there was something I could do. Like I've called our our senator, but they don't call you back.
Well, Mary, I tell you something. You're doing something right now. You're coming on this live. You're speaking your mind, and not everybody can shake the world up, but everybody's got to do something, and then together we shake the world up. So don't feel bad. You're doing something right now, and I appreciate it.
Hey, Mary, I have one more comment for you. Even if you can't get out and go to protests and you can't do any of those things, call your legislator and raise hell about what's going on. That makes a difference. Like people don't send them emails. Send them an email every single day that you're unhappy about what's going on because that matters to them. And I don't know if your legislator is a Republican or a Democrat. I'm assuming it's probably a Republican. If you keep blowing up their voicemail and blowing up their email, that shit makes a difference. They're going to think about that when the time comes when Donald Trump's ultimate demise happens, which I think that it's going to happen,
it's going to happen.
They're going to think twice about how they vote in that instance. So you need to keep up the pressure. You need to keep on doing what you're doing, sending the emails, leaving them voicemails, do all of that shit, because that shit matters greatly.
Well, I have a good governor. I love my governor.
Who's your governor?
Who's that?
Pritzker.
Oh, JB.
Oh, you're in
Yeah.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Great governor.
He's
Yeah,
really
great
great.
governor.
I love him.
You are in the lands of freaking opportunity right now, Pritzker. He's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I know.
He is a great governor.
I gotta say that. But
Well,
one
Mary,
last thing before
Sure.
you drop me. So I don't ever watch The Simpsons. I just don't. But I'm not going to say nothing that's going to get me in trouble or you in trouble. But they predicted something, right? On the 17th. I said, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to wait all day till midnight on the 17th. And then they really let me down. They let me down.
Yep.
Well,
Imagine that. We can no longer count on The Simpsons for political predictions. I'm devastated.
Whoa.
think of
They
it.
said everything
Think of it
came
as
true. So I was counting on
well.
it.
Yeah.
Think of it as when a woman is pregnant. Sometimes you miss your date by a week or so. So it doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Will's got a point there. Will's got a point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
I mean,
I think
just
I think I'm going to get my predictions from different places than The Simpsons
Simpsons.
and fucking TikTok. I'm just saying. Mary, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much for having me.
Thanks, Mary.
No problem.
I've
got somebody else here that's-
go
ahead.
Before you guys want a quick thing about the Vietnam War protests. All those people became yuppies. Then
Yeah,
they became boomers, and now they've changed into, a lot of them are MAGA. So you're kind of right that the Vietnam War went the way because of protests, also went the way because the war wasn't going the way it should be. But
Right.
also, a lot of those protesters turned into the problem we have now.
Oh, no question.
That's the truth.
The problem is people get older, they get money, they get responsibility, and then they get selfish and greedy.
Sure.
That's what happened to many of the boomers. And I'll tell you right now, a lot of Gen Z, when they get to the point when they're in their 40s and they've got jobs and money, they'll start getting protective of their own shit too. So it's just human nature at this point. I'm going to pull somebody else up because he's been begging me to come up for a long, long time.
Oh, I know who this
And,
is.
Hey, Jay.
Hey guys,
All right,
what the
Jay.
fuck's up?
I told these guys, you've been begging me to come on this. I go, just go to the live and show me where
He
you
was
are.
asking. He was asking earlier, like
Jay
how do you
figured it
find
out.
I did.
Mike,
I'm like,
Jay
click
figured
the
it out.
freaking plus.
I tried to get
now-
on the live last night and you blue balled me.
There was no live last night.
Well, that's what I meant.
Exactly. I was going to do it last night, but Jay, and I would have done it last night, but Rebecca's birthday party was last night, and TJ and Rebecca were
Yeah, there was
otherwise
no way
engaged.
we shit last night. I can
We
tell you
fucked.
that.
Yeah, we fucked the whole thing up.
Yeah.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
So-
how's she booting her, as they say up north?
I don't know. How's she
I don't know what the
booting her?
fuck
What's
it
that
means
mean?
either.
Okay. It's just, people should understand who this is. This is Jay. He's in California. He has plans to go to college in Canada. He's a Gen Z. He's been on the podcast many times. I've explained to him, as I've explained to all of you, if it's somebody I know that's a friend of mine, you can count on giving you shit. The only fair thing for you to do is give me shit back, and I respect that. So Jay, what the fuck's going on in your young mind these days?
Well, first off, I wanted to just rag on Gavin Newsom a little bit because
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem, Will. First
I
off,
apologize.
was
What
on
part
the
of Cali
train
you
back
from?
home from my class when I got that notification of him having fucking Charlie Kirk on his podcast. Will,
Yeah.
I tend to think like you. I'm glad I only have one phone because I nearly threw that shit on the ground. Motherfucker, don't do that.
and he was nice to him.
Oh,
That was the sin. That was the sin. If he would have ripped him on that thing, he would have been a hero. But the fact that he played nice, that's where people lost it.
I
And the
don't
worst thing
respect.
about it,
I don't respect
said that
Gavin Newsom for that.
yeah,
I
he
don't,
said that he wanted to hear his side of the story.
fuck that.
It's Charlie
Yeah.
Kirk.
It's Charlie Kirk. He's a Nazi.
His side of the story is fucking bullshit.
exactly.
It's
We
wrong. I
don't
don't.
need
I don't
to-
want
we
to
don't
hear
need-
something that's wrong.
Nobody
Yeah,
wants
we don't need to
that
hear
shit.
Charlie Kirk's take
And
on it because
I
he's
get he's being like diplomatic and like taking like the high road for like the
no
sake of
fuck
his
taking
career.
the high road with
Fuck
these people.
that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Exactly.
Just punch them under the belt every fucking time. And Gavin Newsom failed because he didn't do it. He failed.
Yeah.
He failed the American people.
Yes, he
did.
absolutely did. As a Californian, I can confirm that.
Hey, Jay, I gotta say something to you.
Go ahead.
Do not renounce your American citizenship just when you go to Canada. Do not. I listened to the podcast. Do not renounce your American citizenship because shit is going to turn around and you're going to regret that. I can 100% guarantee that you will regret that. So just bide your time, get your dual citizenship, and let it ride. Do not renounce it.
And Jay, how old are you?
Whatever.
How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been 20 years old. I've had sons that are 20 years old, and I can absolutely verify and validate that at 20 years old, you don't know fuck all about fuck all. And I mean that with total respect.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's why
Mike's right about
I'm gonna
that.
be 50, so that's what I'm saying. Like, just don't.
I'm
do
gonna
it.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you one thing for sure. When I was 20 years old, I was a fucking idiot, and I learned a lot of shit. And by the time I turned 25, I started figuring it out. So
I knew TJ at 20 years old, and he was a fucking idiot. I would definitely give you
it's
that.
factual. You really got to think about the decisions that you make in your life, and doing that might be a harsh decision for you to make. So maybe, take a little lighter approach to it and just consider it a little differently.
Well, and I think a lot of times people will do something like that saying, well, I'll show them. Well, you're not showing anybody anything. You're just hurting yourself.
Yeah, no, you're just hurting yourself. Don't do it. Just hold on to it because things are going to change in your lifetime, and you will regret making that decision.
Absolutely.
And there's no reason for you to make it. There's no reason for you to do that at this point.
All right, let me just...
Unless you want to own the Republicans.
Well, I would love to do that, but let me just briefly get into why I kind of made that decision. I'm sure all of us in here have seen that fucking shaky voice bastard on the what was it, the podium? RFK Jr.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? Look, when they get the guillotines out, and I firmly believe that we're coming up on that at some
With the
point.
guillotines.
Put that
I'm
fucker in there
crocheting.
first.
I'm knitting.
Yeah.
Or
Wow, yeah.
Or, like I mentioned on the podcast, that thing, do you guys remember seeing that on the podcast where I talked about the spring lock suit? Put that fucker in one of those things and set that motherfucker off.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Jay, when you started talking about that fantasy story stuff and the spring lock suit, I just nodded my head. I had no clue what you're talking. I'm 65 years old. If it doesn't have a fucking talking animal in it, I don't get it.
What's funny is
you know what, guys?
Oh, sorry, go on, Will.
Yeah, I was going to say I kind of understand at age 20 why you feel you do the way you do, Jay. And I'm going to say it this way. When I grew up in the late 60s, I grew up with a time where politicians had some, and being an American actually mattered something, even with the Cold War. But you still had some promises that you can make, and things look good, and you could get better. You've grown up in a time of nothing but bullshit, and I get it.
Yeah, true.
Because I could say I'm proud to be an American, but I grew up in a time where it was proud to be an American. So I get your point.
Right.
I really do.
We didn't go through COVID and being in school.
I nearly
No,
died
I mean,
during COVID. Not because of anything from the disease, but from the madness of it all, really.
The emotional aspect of it.
Yeah. I
want.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I wanted to bring this up too. We brought it up on the podcast, and for those people who didn't listen to the podcast, Jay is Gen Z. He's in California. He's going to be going to college, and he's also self-acknowledged as autistic. He's on the autism spectrum. And I asked him about what he thought when RFK Jr. said the stupid shit he did. And maybe you can repeat that for these folks.
Oh my God. Where the fuck do I even begin? He said, we'll never pay taxes, we'll never play baseball, we'll never have a family, we'll never use a fucking toilet. I mean, it just went on and on and on and on. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut up. Just shut up.
And Jay, can we verify right here and now that you in fact do use the toilet?
Yeah, I do. You know who doesn't use a toilet? Fucking Chuck Grassley. Because he's got
And
his
Donald
fucking
Trump.
shorts every morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd made a joke about that on the podcast. The only due process Chuck Grassley understands is the function of his bowels into his shorts every morning.
Yeah, we like to call that the
Touche.
doo-doo process. We call that the doo-doo process.
God. Oh, no.
I'm bringing somebody else up here right now. His name is Gregory. We'll see if he shows up. I want to get some new blood into the mix. Gregory, are you there, and what's on your mind? Gregory's running back to the phone. Gregory, you there?
Gregory's watching baseball.
Yeah, he is.
Which apparently
Actually, I
you won't play.
was.
You were watching baseball?
Yeah, actually, I was. Replay. Well, the question I had, somebody brought up Texas about Chuck, the guy going to colleges and talk. That's what TikTok is. People are going down there to debate him because he's bringing up a bunch of lies and just telling stories that are not true.
So Charlie Kirk's going down there, and
Yeah.
some people from TikTok are going to go debate him?
Correct.
Wow.
That's all I had. That's because somebody asked about it, and I was just listening to the Vic Myers earlier. He's going.
Well, I appreciate you jumping in to do that. And what I gather from what you're saying is now, I did my job. I want to watch fucking baseball, so get off my shit, right? Is that what you're saying here?
No, hey, I've been following you for a couple of years. I really like what you do. I really do.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll let you get back to the game. I was watching the Timberwolves game and last night, and I'm not a big basketball fan, but boy, I jump on that bandwagon when the playoffs hit. I'm a big fan then. Gregory, thanks for clarifying that for us, and I hope your team wins.
Me too. All right, you guys have a good one.
All right, you too. So,
I had to go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I had to have a good chuckle today when I listened to the podcast. I told Rebecca, I'm like, it's hilarious. Mike's talking shit on me on the podcast.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you were, apparently.
I didn't say a word. I was very quiet. I wasn't going to say anything to that.
And you noticed in this TikTok, which will be a podcast too, if you want to get it, you can get it on Spotify and you can get it on YouTube. In addition to giving you shit, I cleaned that up today by saying what I said about, if I like you, I'll give you shit. And I expect shit back. So
But
I covered my ass early here.
but you weren't wrong. You weren't wrong.
Well, I know I wasn't wrong.
You're like the elementary school kid who dips the girl's braids in the ink because you like them.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, TJ has no braids.
No.
He's like me, has very little hair. So,
Well, that's my choice. That's my choice, though.
yeah.
That's not your case, though.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not.
I got no brains and too much hair.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what happens when you're young. You got more testosterone than you have brains. That's just part of growing up, man. Okay, I'm gonna pull somebody else in here. This is just a wild shot. We'll see
Kathy.
see how we do here. We never know when a Trumper shows up. Kathy, you're with us, and what's on your mind today? Kathy?
Kathy's watching TV.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. You request to come up, but they don't know when they're going to come up, so they get bored and they start doing something else. And I get it. I get it. I'm a little slow off the jump.
No, I don't get it though, because shouldn't you be watching the live that you're participating in? I mean,
right?
I don't get that at all.
I agree.
Even when I go on the Trumplefuck lives, I watch what they're saying and listen to what they're saying, even though it's totally stupid. You know.
I mean, I waited all day
How
for
do you-
this shit.
Yeah, he waited.
How do you? I watch. I watch one of them like they come up on a FYP.
Yeah.
And I get 30 seconds in. I'm just trying not to commit seppuku just listening to these guys.
Well-
it is.
Yeah.
It's just. Ugh.
Well, it goes back to what Mike says. You get real fired up, and, you know. And I was fired up the day before yesterday, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I go in there and listen to what they have to say because I want to hear what the messages or the messaging is between these people, because it sometimes it's so ridiculous you can't even listen to it, but other times, like, they just keep regurgitating all these stupid talking points that mean nothing, like
Yeah.
just like the thing I brought up that Mike talked about on the podcast about the tattoo.
Right.
That was ridiculous. Like, the whole premise of the thing, it was photoshopped. The MS-13, like, if you looked at the picture, it didn't. The font did not follow the contour of the skin.
No.
It was the most ridiculous
so fake.
bullshit. And they go in there and they talk about that stuff, and I go in there and I fuck with them. Mike can't understand why I do that, but regardless,
But see, the funny thing is that every time I do a video and people don't like it, I filter my comments.
Right.
Because I do that on purpose, because I like reading, and if I get a talking point, I get the same talking point from these idiots.
Yeah.
All the time. Did you see the video I did with that guy with the talking about the petition against the senator, against Van Hollen?
I missed that one.
I saw.
Yeah, and
I saw him.
Good luck with that.
yeah, and so I stitched them, and you should see the comments I get. They're just the same fucking stupid talking points. He went home. He was a criminal. He was all this bullshit. It's all the same. It's like watching parrots.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, I saw that guy, and I don't comment on a lot of videos, but I commented on that video, and I noticed yours was the one above mine or just before mine. And this guy is an absolute idiot. We got people coming out here saying he violated the Logan Act. No, he didn't, motherfucker. Read a book. Fuck.
Right.
You know why I don't go on lives though? When I go on lives, it would be boring to me because all I would have to do in the comments is cut and paste, motherfucker, please. That's all I would say because I can't even argue with these idiots.
Right.
Well, let's pull somebody else up here. See, this is a grab bag, if you will, because I don't know what I'm getting when I do this, and this person is labeled "huh." So, are you there? What's on your mind?
I'm here.
What's on your mind?
I just want to say that I completely agree with you. And these people, these Democrats that are talking about this stuff, they just need to turn their brains off and stop listening to facts and stop doing math, because math is woke. Once they realize all that, once they realize that math and fact
Math
is
is
woke,
bad.
they'll fall in
You don't
line
know
with
math is bad.
Donald Trump, and everything will be fine. You know, if they just didn't think, if they just didn't do math. If they do math and they say that the tariffs are bad, when all you have to do is sit there, let a little bit of drool come out of your mouth, and think, well, Donald Trump is doing the right thing. He's the president. He must know something. I mean, he only went bankrupt like 8 times. He bankrupted a casino so he must know how to run the economy.
I
Yeah.
like this guy. This guy is
Yeah.
Man.
I mean,
Listen, huh? Math and facts are woke. So you
Math
better
and
get that
facts
through
are
your
woke.
fucking head.
So,
And more
don't
importantly,
don't
voting
be
is woke.
Don't be woke.
Yeah, don't be woke. Don't.
Math and facts are woke. Stop listening to the math and the facts, and you'll be fine.
Well, I'm glad we
think
can
a lot of
clarify
MAGA
that.
do-
We got some good
There is
satire.
a concept. I think there's a concept in higher math of imaginary numbers, because you got to come up with imaginary numbers in order to deal with certain things in physics. But these guys, everything's an imaginary number. 2 + 2 is 5 to them, and that's
Yeah.
the thing you're fighting.
Yeah.
2 + 2 is 5 to everything, because it doesn't make sense to us, but it makes total sense to them because Big Brother says it's 5. It ain't going
Well,
to
and
be
the thing-
5.
I told TJ today, like we scroll through Facebook and we get these like math problems that everybody has to solve, and everybody's like, "Whoa, the new math it's this way." I'm sorry.
And we're like,
Math
no,
is math.
not the new
I'm sorry,
math.
math is math. Like the literal
Math.
world will fall apart if we do math by a different way.
Yeah,
Like, math is math.
math is
There's
math.
only one way to make math work.
I get so mad.
No, math is woke.
Exactly.
I get so pissed when I see those and people give the wrong answers and they're like, no, it's this, and I'm like, no,
It's this because they don't have
they can't do order of operations, and it pisses
Right,
me the
there's-
fuck off.
Yeah.
there's only one way to do math, and math has not changed. A new math does not change that. Sorry.
Well, I said that. I said this during the election. Prior to the election, I said, using common sense and logic, Kamala's got to win. She's got more money. She's got a lot of support. She is doing the right things. She's qualified. More importantly, Donald Trump was the absolute worst candidate for president in history. From overturning Roe v. Wade, it made no sense that Donald Trump would win. And then, of course, he wins. So right there, I'm fucked up because I only use common sense and logic, and in this case, it didn't work. What we have to understand about Donald Trump, there is no common sense or logic. There is no math. There is nothing. It's literally what I said before. He pulls stuff out of his ass, acts as if it's true, and then dumb fucks believe it's true. It's just, it's amazing.
And then it's a child, like when he was president the first time. You know, like how are you going to solve immigration? I mean, I've got an 8-year-old nephew. Oh, you got people coming into the country that's illegal. Well, you know what? You know how we're going to stop them? We're going to build a wall. That's like the answer an 8-year-old would make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. How are we going to fix inflation and get economy get manufacturing back to the United States? Oh, we're gonna charge them a tariff, regardless of the fact that it's all going to fall back on the backbone of the American people to pay that tariff. But hey, now I'm doing math, and that's woke.
Right. Yeah. Never mind incremental tax credits. So we'll just charge them tariffs and make the American people pay more, and that'll bring the jobs back
Or
here.
going after the chairman of the Federal Reserve because he does math and says
Right.
you
Well,
can't do what you want to do.
And that's a good point. Donald Trump just says things, and we're supposed to believe it's true because he said it. Now, there's no way he can fire the chairman of the Fed, Jerome Powell. He can't fire them. There is no legal way to do it. So he's sitting there, and somebody's asking him, Jerome Powell said he wouldn't quit if you told him to quit. And Donald Trump can't handle that not being in control, and he says, oh, believe me, if I told him to quit, he'd be gone. No, Donald, he wouldn't, because he said he
Correct me if
wouldn't.
I'm wrong, but isn't Jerome Powell, wasn't he appointed by Trump the first time he was in office?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that would be his guy. What's the problem?
Well, as I understand it, I don't know, maybe Will's the one that told me. I don't know how somebody becomes the Fed chair, but maybe it was Will, maybe it was Eric. They say basically the president.
It was yesterday.
They have a bunch of candidates.
Nominate someone, and it goes through the board of governors
Right.
of the Federal Reserve, which is the separate banking system of America. And it's designed that way so you can't manipulate the currency. Because you give someone like Trump the power of currency, he would print dollars, which would cause inflation, which would cause hyperinflation. So the system's designed not to do that, to keep the politics out of it. See, that's what Trump wants. He wants control of the money system.
He doesn't have the power to choose. He can nominate somebody, but the board of governors or commissioners are the ones that actually decide who's going to do it. And I think we still have some serious folks there. But you notice how he's talking shit about Jerome Powell, but he's not asking him to quit as yet. He said, I haven't asked him to quit, but I can't wait for him to be gone. I personally think the reason he's talking shit about Jerome Powell is that when the economy goes to shit, he's trying to find somebody else to blame. And even though Jerome Powell has no control over what's going on with tariffs and shit, I think that's what he's doing. He's looking to make a bad guy so that he can blame Jerome Powell for not dropping the interest rates, and now it's his fault the economy sucks.
Right.
There was another rumor out there, another story that, and again, I heard it on TikTok, so I don't necessarily believe it, but I could see this happening. Somebody's suggesting that that Donald Trump wants to name J.D. Vance as the tariff czar.
I saw that too. I saw that too, and he wants to do that so he can wash his hands of the tariffs and blame it on J.D. Vance and ruin his political career.
I love it.
Absolutely.
No, I like that. That's a good idea.
Please do it.
That's a good idea. I support that whole thing 100%.
Yeah, please do that.
Donald Trump can't get away from it. This is something that's going to stick with him like red dye in a pool after you peed. It's going to follow you a fucking round no matter what.
Yeah, it's
fun. But J.D.
Isn't
Vance
it
would
green?
fall in that grenade.
Yeah.
Isn't it green dye that they use in pools? Because if it's red, it looks like somebody's bleeding.
Well, Jay, how would you know that?
He peed in the pool. He peed in the pool.
It's blue. And
No,
I
I
know some personal
didn't.
experience.
He did.
Don't
He did.
Don't open that fucking thing. Don't do
I went
that.
to the water slides when I was a kid. And
let's all
no one
stop
would
right
play
here.
with me.
Let's all admit it.
Well, hold on.
saying-
Hold on. We're missing something here. You were saying that you have some experience with this.
I said it's blue. I went to the water slides when I was about 9 years old in the Chicago day camp, and then no one would play with me for the rest of the summer. It's blue.
Okay. So let's be honest with each other. It's like saying that you've never tried pot. We've all done it. We have all done it. Just admit it. And
I
just
didn't
move
Thank
on.
you, Will. Thank you for having my back, brother.
I didn't exhale.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, well, we didn't excel. Well, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure. It was a delight to have you on. It's good to hear the satire.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I scroll through. You guys came up on my For You page. I scroll through this, and I look for the other side so I can give them the Math is Volk line. And I find it extremely entertaining because they all start agreeing with me, and it takes them about 5 minutes before they realize I'm making fun of them. And I just think it's hilarious.
DJ, he's a kindred spirit.
Next thing you know, you're dating Marjorie Taylor Greene. So yeah, be careful with
God,
that.
Dear Lord.
No.
Dear God,
Yeah.
don't wish that on me.
I don't. I'm just warning you. I'm just warning you. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right.
Oh, Mike, that was cruel, dude. That was cruel.
What?
MTG. Oh my God.
Yeah,
My dad used to say something
about
about people like women like her, and I can't say it because your live will come down.
Yeah, I have to be careful of that. I'm bringing somebody else up. Who are we looking at here? The Real Queen of Bohemia, I think her name is. Real Queen, how are you doing? What's on your mind?
Good. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Yeah, I watch your lives all the time. And I think, man, this guy would be pretty cool if I saw him in a coffee shop and just shoot the shit like my dad's age.
Well, I will tell you this. I was sitting in a restaurant yesterday with my wife and a friend, and a guy about my age comes up to my table and goes, "Hey, are you on TikTok?" And I go, "Guilty." And we sat and talked to him for a while. So it could happen.
Where are you from? I'm in Michigan.
Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Michigan, which went red, surprisingly. We're predominantly blue.
You got a decent governor, though.
Yeah. I would like to see her fight back against the orange shit stain.
Yeah. So do you have any opinions on Donald Trump?
Oh, I have lots of opinions on Donald Trump. I get in trouble.
Let's hear them. We want to hear all of them.
If there's a revolution coming, I'll lead it. I swear to God, I'll lead it. Oh, man.
I saw that in the comments earlier.
And these MAGA turds, man, they're easy to plunk into a corner because all they do is regurgitate hot shit. I mean,
Yeah, it's true. What's the Michigan went for Donald Trump. You've got a blue governor. What's the actual vibe in Michigan? What part of Michigan are you in?
well, I'm in the D, Detroit. Originally
Okay.
born and raised Detroit, but I lived in mid-Michigan for a while in these little, I don't want to be derogatory towards anyone, but they're hick towns. And they're predominantly red hat, trash bag wearing morons.
Yeah.
They have the IQ of, I don't even want to say an apple.
But you don't want to be critical, right? You don't want to be critical,
Let's
right?
put it this way. If brains were gasoline, they couldn't power a pissant's go-kart around a Cheerio.
They have the intelligence of a garden hose.
I like her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, they're nothing but hateful, bigoted Nazis. I mean, Christianity's destroyed because of this, because they're not Christians. They have no concept of what it was all about. It's about loving thy neighbor. And if Jesus were here today, he'd deport him. He'd call him a socialist hippie. They have no idea that because they pandered to this guy. And then don't get me started on the ketamine cuck. I mean, this guy, he falls apart easy. I mean, they trolled him on his video game because he's the greatest video game player of all time, which was proven to be a lie. And someone just spammed the hell out of him, like, you'll die alone, nobody cares about you. I mean, and he's
Queen, what's your name?
My real name's Jen.
Jen, I love you. You were freaking awesome.
Thank you. I love all you do.
Say that in front of TJ. What the fuck?
Yeah. I have a sense, Jen, I have a sense if we did meet in a bar or something, the conversation could be pretty lively. And I would be doing a lot of listening. I'd be doing a lot of listening, I think.
Yeah, I'm not looking at my calendar trying to figure out how I can go visit Jen to hang out with her because that's awesome.
Well, everyone come to Michigan and we'll start a new country. That's what
that's
what it's got to take. Where everyone, we don't need reps or anything that make $1 million a year. We all have a say, and everyone gets a fair share of the pie.
That sounds good to
Well,
me.
I would take you up on that offer, but Canada has my business.
Isn't it awful
Sorry
what's
about
doing to
that.
Canada? They really are our closest friend and ally. But
what they're doing is despicable.
Oh yeah, and all our money. We have plenty of money for people coming to this country looking for a new life. We'd have plenty of money if we weren't sending it to other countries so that they can hurt children.
Yeah. It's appalling. There's no question about it. Jen, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. You're hysterical, and please come back anytime. We need this kind of energy on this live.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, Jen.
Well, thanks for
Charlie's-
having me, and keep on fighting the good fight, all y'all.
All right, thank you.
12
Thank you very
in the
much.
chat
Hey.
is reporting the live. Sorry, I wanted to say this just because it's a bit of a 5-alarm fire. That Trump LaFuck that Will's confronting is trying to report the live.
Where? Who?
Well, get him out of there.
Dragon Wolf 12.
I'll get him.
Got him?
Motherfucker. I got him.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We
Fuck
will.
him.
Yeah.
He's gone.
We will get these people, and the thing is when you're talking about Trump LaFucks, they say a lot, they don't do a lot. They could report us,
They're
that's
pussies.
distinctly possible.
They're a bunch of pussies.
They're
snowflake bitches that fucking can't handle it. They won't ever come up and fucking talk to us because they don't have the balls to do it. And they're just a bunch of snowflake bitches. That's all they are.
Absolutely. Bringing somebody else up here, Downtown. Hey, Downtown, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
A lot of things, but I'm 46. I'm from Iowa. I voted Harris, and a lot of things are on my mind. I saw in a room earlier. I haven't fact checked it. It said that that Trump was wanted to charge all immigrants once they got a deportation notice $998 a day or something. Have you guys heard about this?
I have not heard about that. That wouldn't surprise me. Donald Trump's always trying to scam some money.
Right, and he's pushing the middle, and there's very little middle class left. The lower middle class right into the shitter. I mean, I live in Iowa, and the stuff going on here is ridiculous. I have an autistic son, level 3. It took us 5 years to get our state waiver. There's only 200 for the state of Iowa, which there's only 3 million people or something. I grew up in Illinois, but they're putting an 80-hour a week, or I'm sorry, 80-hour a month work requirement on Medicaid, and that's for the mother and father. My wife's had to stay home with him since he was born 8 years ago.
Wow.
So they're going to repeal his care, which is $7,000 a month. I mean, no one could really afford that. I mean, I have a good job, but I mean that's insane, and it's ridiculous. I just think that pretty soon. I've been saying it for years that people starving and stuff. I'd pay 20% more taxes just to have my fellow American people to be able to eat and their children be able to eat. And
yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like that's not happening right now. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. And have you thought about moving out of Iowa?
Yes, I have. But I mean, I think across the board, the next few years are going to be really tough. I mean, if we can even weather it, because these programs are federal programs, and like this whole Doge thing, they're trying to squeeze water out of a rock with cutting entitlements, which there's already not enough of them. And I know socialism is a bad word these days, but you know what? We need to take care of our fellow citizens. I mean, there's not as many people as they make out sitting there sponging off. In Iowa, the top cash benefit you can get is $300 a month. So who's going to sponge off that? That is nothing. And
No.
and the DOD, I run a shop with 60 people. We do government contracts and non-government. We drop everything for the government contracts because they pay 12 times what the other ones. It's no bid contracts. No bid contracts, which means you charge $10 million for a $500,000 job, and it just goes right through. So if they want to cut the fat, Doge needs to concentrate on the DOD, and they'll never do that. And I don't understand what people are thinking. Thank you.
It is appalling. Downtown Clay David, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, and I hope things straighten themselves out, because you could be put in a very difficult situation with your son, and with the way Iowa treats people, it's appalling, and not to mention Iowa, but the federal government at this point. Hopefully that changes.
Thank you for your selflessness in the comments you made. It's really appreciated.
Downtown Clay, thank you very much for coming on. These are the stories that upset me the most. You get older people who come on and say, well, don't let them cut Social Security because that's all I got. And what the Republicans are doing that are bad in this country is bad enough. But the terror they're striking, the fear and the stress they're striking in all these people is just uncalled for, unnecessary, and absolutely very cruel. It's upsetting. All right, let's see who's here. We got another Rebecca coming up.
Uh-oh.
This one's, I'm pretty sure. No.
Who's here? We got another. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing?
Wow.
Hi, hello.
How you doing, and what's on your mind today?
I'm okay. I was just listening to the conversation and how he felt stuck, and I understood. I was just listening and understanding, and I get what he's saying. Like, it's really hard, even with a kid. Nevertheless, especially if I had to leave. I've been on multiple lives. I had to leave. I understood what he was going through.
Yeah. What
But
part of the country are you
do
from?
think we have for South Florida. I used to be proud of that.
Ooh.
Not so proud anymore.
I don't blame you.
Wow.
We used to be
How?
like we were one the swings for Obama, right? I
Right.
volunteered on his campaign, and I remember.
What's the vibe down like in Florida right now? You got Donald Trump spewing his shit all over the place. You got Ron DeSantis. You've got a Republican legislature. It's got to be kind of rough down there in Florida at this point, and it's sad. It's a beautiful place.
I think from the people that don't like this, we're very isolated from everyone. We just people that we thought were our friends are not our friends, and that's really isolating. It's hard to realize all the people that you love actually disagree with you and vote against you. It's a very sad place to be.
Rebecca, are you fearful of speaking out, speaking your mind when you're in Florida?
At the moment, no, but I do think that could be a problem. But not at the moment. I do worry about the future, but at the moment, I feel like I'm an ant in an ant colony until
Yeah.
I've a bunch of the other ants probably.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I do fear.
Rebecca,
That once they start,
Rebecca, we feel the same way here.
I feel.
We feel the same way here
Where
in
are you?
Pennsylvania. Like we don't know who we're in Pennsylvania. We don't know who are friends. We don't know who are enemies. We drop subtle hints to try to find out. We sit next to people at a bar, a restaurant, and we just don't know who are friends or enemies. And sometimes we are happily surprised because we get good results when we have subtle conversations, and sometimes we are not. So I totally feel for you. Like we don't
Yeah.
we don't know, and it's terrifying to not know.
So then we don't know, and then you have a special needs kid. Her situation is like extra double. Where like if someone like I'm very passive, I'm like cool all
Just
the
out of
time. But mess with my kid who has special needs. That's different.
just
Yeah,
out of curiosity,
definitely.
are you a minority, Rebecca? Can no one
Yes.
hear me? Oh, are you a minority?
You were cutting out. Now I can. No.
I'll
Well, I mean, I'm white. I'm a white
I'm
woman.
sorry.
I'm a woman.
You are
Oh,
you
okay.
are a woman, so
Well,
in
I
a
mean,
sense, that's true.
yeah. Apart from being a woman, you're white. Is your child white as well?
Yeah, and my special needs child, yes, both my children are white. Well, my husband is Filipino Jewish. Diversity was really important to me. So
Okay.
I love my husband. He's Jewish and Filipina. His parents are very diverse. So I chose to marry, and it was so important to me to marry into diversity. For me, that
So
was.
your children are Asian.
Yes.
Yes.
A quarter.
Okay.
A quarter, yeah.
Right.
A quarter
have
Asian,
you
a quarter Jewish, and a half me, sadly. LOL.
Well, living in Florida, it's a very volatile situation down there. Have you felt any repercussions, like your kids at school, or like some type of racism or anything like that your kids tell you about? Is that a thing, or is that not a thing?
I'm not a fair subject. My kids go to a medical school that's
Okay.
a charter school.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
this is where, you know how they talk about charter schools? There are good and bad charter schools.
Absolutely.
Like, the kids who are not in a religious charter school, they're in a medical charter school. and they're super both. Even though my daughter has nothing, she's typical. She's still benefiting. She's learning so much about all the kids and their health and how to be supportive. She's so much. I don't want to say more amazing because that's horrible. Like she'll have had the opportunity to learn so much more than others by being exposed to this. But not all charter schools are the same. Some charter schools are bad.
No.
So, but no, I'm not a fair sub for your question.
Okay.
Well, Rebecca, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, and I hope things get better for you in Florida. I know it's difficult at this point, and when you have kids, that's what I always tell people. I said, you can say anything to me you want. You fuck with my kids or my grandkids, it's going to get real ugly real quick. And I'm not even talking about me. People always say, if somebody did something to your kids or your grandkids, would you beat them up? And I said, I do what I could with what was left after my wife got done with them, because
Cindy will fucking unleash the wrath.
yeah, you don't want none of that. Trust me, I've seen some of that, and I don't want that, and nobody in their right mind would either. Rebecca, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you to your wife.
Yeah, she keeps me straight. There's no question about that. You know, it's funny that you guys were talking about being at a restaurant and being careful about who's around you. You know, maybe a Republican or something, so you got to kind of walk softly in order to do it. Imagine going out to dinner with me and my wife saying the same thing. You got to walk softly. And I don't say anything about politics when I'm out there.
Yeah.
But as soon as somebody nearby says something, I always see the look on my wife's face or my kid's face when somebody says something stupid. They look at me and go, here we go. Here we fucking go. Because I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. It's just, it's inevitable.
Well, we do investigations when we're out. Like, we'll start asking questions just to figure out who they are. You know. So.
Yeah,
CSI plumber.
We're very good.
Yes.
Like, we're literally like, CSI level. Like we will ask questions while we're out, and we will find out without offending people. And then we know.
Yeah, but it's fucking easy. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
If they're dumb fucks, they'll automatically, default right to their stupid shit. You know.
Yeah.
So
I usually ask them, do you have average or above intelligence? And if they say no, I know what I'm dealing with here.
Right.
I'm dealing with a dumb fuck. I'm bringing somebody else up. Matrix 467. Matrix, how you doing? And what's on your mind?
How are you? Oh,
I'm good.
was just, what do you call it? You guys were speaking on, seeing who's in your surroundings. I'm in the DC area, literally like no more than 20 minutes outside of downtown DC. And when it's out in the public, I really don't give a shit. But
Yep,
unfortunately,
I agree.
I happen to, I work for an agency, and that's where my head is on a constant swivel because, for lack of better words, I do have persons that are, currently on my immediate floor who I'm not familiar with. And of course, you don't know who they are,
Right.
and so that makes it even the more now, especially nowadays, even more just hair raising, borderline scary. So we don't speak politics. I've told my developers, don't speak politics. Don't. If anything, send me a Teams message.
I agree to an extent, except I actually almost want people to speak politics so I know. So I know who the fuck they are that I'm dealing with.
That's the problem. In my agency, there are several loyalists. And you don't know who's
Yeah.
going to go running to whom. That's the big problem. And you know what? I'm still employed. I'd like to still get a paycheck. So that's why my head's on the swivel most of the time.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And you have a lot of things working against you, Matrix. You're a liberal. You're a Democrat. You're a woman. You're a
Yep.
woman of color. You got a lot of things
and
working
I'm in a
for
managerial
you.
position.
Right. And the thing about it is, I think when you're in America, it does with me too. When I hear you speak, It's so, it's so, it's almost regal the way it sounds to us. And we go, this woman must know her shit just by the way she sounds. I mean, you could know nothing and I'd think you're brilliant just by virtue of your ability to communicate.
Well, thank you so much.
No
Thank you
problem.
and keep the videos coming, please. Keep the videos coming.
Oh, I will. I will. It's hard to stop me. My wife's tried to stop me from doing a lot of things for 40 years, and it hasn't worked with her, so it's not going to work here.
If the wife can't do it, yeah, we certainly cannot.
Yeah, they've just kind of resigned themselves to the fact he's going to do what the fuck he wants to do, so just live with it as best we can.
Is that dog in the background eating a Trumplafuck?
Oh gosh.
Like you said on one of the earlier lives, TJ?
I wish.
Wait, you have fucks to give?
No,
I'm impressed.
If
I've ran all out of mine.
If a Trumplefuck showed up right here at my house right now, he'd get a much different greeting than my dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Whoa, okay. Okay, then.
Wow.
Well, thank you
Well,
for
Matrix,
having me up, guys.
thank you, Matrix. I appreciate it, and come back anytime. It's always a pleasure to hear from you.
Will do. Have a good night.
You too. That's the one thing I like doing about the lives. I get to talk to a bunch of very intelligent, very insightful, sometimes sarcastic people, and it's a great pleasure to be able to experience that and draw that kind of audience, and then be able to talk to them. I'm bringing somebody else in, a woman by the name of Samantha. I'm assuming it's a woman with the name Samantha, but maybe I'm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, Samantha, how you doing?
I'm good. Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter to you too.
Easter Samantha.
Well, I would say I'm good, but so I guess.
What's on your mind? What's on your mind today?
Well, I live in the state of Oklahoma, and I voted for Harris, so that should say a lot right there.
Yeah, that does say a lot. How are things in Oklahoma these days?
Well, they're disastrous. I am. First off, my husband and I both we were both nurses. My husband passed away 6 months ago from C-19 at the age of 45.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. And I was a Medi-Flight nurse and then decided to go back and get my nurse practitioner license and thought we needed mental health in this state. It was very much lacking. And since Trump took office, he closed the two largest mental health facilities that we had, laid off all of the workers that worked there. And then he decided that we had what was called a MAT team, a medical assessment team that would come out if you had a mental health crisis versus the police or something like that. And he decided to cancel that program and decided incarceration is the best answer for any type of mental health type issues.
So he pulled a Reagan.
Yeah, well, he basically feels like mental health is not our problem. It's obviously how we were handling it before. And he thinks incarceration would just be a much better and quicker and cheaper answer, which it's not.
Right.
And then my son, he's in medical school, and he has a friend. We don't have an HBCU technically here in Oklahoma. We have a college that's, caters mostly to African Americans. And he and his best friend both together went to get biochem degrees. And they graduated with their undergraduates on scholarship. And now they're in their first year of medical school. And about 3 weeks ago, his best friend and roommate found out that the freeze that Donald Trump did with the Department of Education and some of the funding, his best friend no longer is going to be able to enroll for next year for his second year of medical school because his parents can't pay for it, and he can't absorb the student loans. So that ended that for him, at least for now anyway.
Yeah.
And then in general, the coverage of C19, being a nurse and having worked that after being a nurse for 25 years, I used to be so proud of what I did for a living, and now I don't even want to admit that that's what I do for a living anymore.
You know what's interesting, Samantha? You say you're a nurse, right?
Right.
I was amazed, during the campaign, there were a lot of nurses that did support Donald Trump. Do you see that in your workplace, that there are a lot of nurses that you wouldn't think would support Donald Trump that do?
Not in the trauma and ER field, ICU fields, because that we were the ones that got hit the hardest with C19. You do see it slightly, and it only came about with some of the newer nurses who came out and they were like, we want to collect a paycheck. And when he talked about, we're not going to tax your overtime and that kind of thing, then they started getting on board with the idea, because nurses all work a lot of overtime. And, and of course that didn't happen. None of the stuff he said that he was going to do, actually good, that he said he was going to do happened. Those are the people that I find difficult. Those nurses, yes. But anyone who works through C19 or spent any time in the ICU or ER during that time, absolutely not. They are mortified at the thought that we could have another pandemic at any given time, and where would we be? Because we know
6
what
feet under.
happened. Yeah, we know what happened. I mean, we were promised all this PPE and ventilators, and we knew when we put our order in and we didn't receive it. We found out where it went. It went to Russia, and we were just all shocked, completely shocked.
Right.
Let me ask you. That was even. Sorry.
Let me ask you this, Samantha. Most people are under the impression that the COVID-19, that's something from the past. That's something we dealt with, and now it's over. But you just told us that your husband passed away with complications of COVID-19 6 months ago. Where are we with this COVID thing right now? This is obviously still an issue.
Well, he was diagnosed on a Monday, and he was gone by Friday.
My God.
The issue is C19 now that I think people have kind of disregarded, because we've opened places up and we are not wearing masks and all those types of things. They think that it's just going to be like the flu. And, if you want to take a flu shot, some people do believe in it, some people don't. But we are seeing, especially this winter, we saw a huge influx of a different strain. And what's interesting about C19 is the T cells, your memory cells, are not remembering all of these strains. And so new strains come out all the time. And it'll catch you off guard. And that thought that people were testing, the government used to be sending out tests, for free kits at home and stuff like that, and they're not doing that anymore. And so people are not really testing for it anymore. Then they get really, really sick. That's when they come in the hospital. And there is a point of no return with C19.
Smith,
yeah.
Smith, I hate to ask this because I feel like I sound like an asshole, but was he vaccinated?
Yes, he was. We had, as a nurse, you're required to. So we had all had the first set that came in, a group of 3. And then we were boosted every year after that, every 6 months. So I can't even tell you. I have 2 cards now with dates. That's how many vaccines that I've had of it.
And he still passed away?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did he have some other issues that contributed to that, or is it just he was vaccinated, he was healthy, he got COVID, and this happened?
Right, because
so heartbreaking that still happens.
The thing with C19 is it not only, I mean, everybody thought it was just a lung issue, but with some of the newer strains, yes, we're still seeing a lot of lung issues, but we're also seeing organ failure in general. And sepsis that comes into play. At that point, that's the point of no return for some people.
Well, that's really terrifying and eye-opening for, I think, probably everybody. Am I wrong?
And I mean, the other scary thing too is, I mean,
Not
we
that we
got,
thought it was over, but like,
well,
right.
the worst part about it is you got RFK Jr. sitting up at the top of
Oh my
HHS
God.
who can't tell you what Impala means and doesn't even know how much budget he has. He's also a big anti-vaxxer. So now you got measles in 33 states, which we had eradicated.
Uh-huh.
And that's getting kids and
Yep,
parents. And I hear a lot of Trump supporters say, well, that's because illegals are bringing it across the border. No, actually, I've seen more kids that were here that parents did the religious exemption or autism exemption to not vaccinating their kids. And every single case that I've seen
hold
were
up.
unvaccinated.
I'm an exemption now? My community's an exemption now? What the fuck?
What do you mean?
No, I don't know that that's what she's saying. Jay is a Gen Z. He's from California. He is autistic. I don't think she's saying because you're autistic that you're exempt. If you think your kid's going to become autistic, that's an exemption.
Yeah,
that was my point. That's exactly what I meant, and I'm still pissed about that.
We have, I think here in Erie, Pennsylvania, we have close to, I think it's 10 cases now, TJ?
We have 10 cases of measles.
I mean, if you listen to what RFK Jr. said just 2 days ago about autism, if you have autism, it should have really disturbed you because he said basically you guys won't ever pay taxes because you'll never have jobs or
You can't use the bathroom.
have normal
That
lives.
shit made my blood boil.
Yeah,
Jay can't use the bathroom because he's autistic.
Yeah.
You know.
And they also don't pay attention to, and RFK should know for sure with his family history that the second largest, well, actually, really the number one unalivement, if you break it down into age groups for middle schoolers on down, is mass pew-pews in schools. And Donald Trump would like you to believe that it's the drag queen teaching the pre-K, a book. But it's not. It's the fact that your kid just may not come home at all.
Right.
Samantha, let me ask you a question about this. Your husband unfortunately passed away because of C-19. He was vaccinated.
Yes.
Now, there will be Republicans or Trump-la-fucks out there that say, oh, it's the vaccine that got him. Now, clearly you don't believe that, but how would you answer somebody who said that? If the vaccine was so great, he should have survived it like everybody else. How would you address that to someone?
The same way I would answer somebody who says to me, I don't get a flu shot every year because it gives me the flu or I'm just going to get the flu anyway. No vaccine is perfect. And the vaccine that's put out for the following year is mimicked off the T cell from the flu from the year before. But the problem is C-19 strains change all the time. So the vaccine is by far not perfect, but it does have it gives you a much higher fighting chance, if anything, to your health overall.
Like Hans said earlier with the math and the science thing, that's another thing. Vaccines are woke, people.
Yeah, no shit. Well, it's like seatbelts. It's like seatbelts in a car. You put seatbelts on to stay safe. That doesn't mean you can't get killed in a car crash. It just gives you a better opportunity to stay safe.
And I know another thing that makes nurses and doctors, especially doctors, really, really mad is when crap. I was going to say something. I'm losing my track on it. The herd immunity.
We're talking
process,
about the vaccine.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and herd immunity, and that if you get it once and you contracted it and you made it okay and you didn't even need hospitalization, that you're covered and you're good. No, that's not the case at all. That gets them very upset, and we struggle a lot here in this state with, of course, AB no exemption rule. That gets doctors really upset because the bureaucracy has changed our way of being able to practice medicine. So I've seen doctors that have come to work going, gosh, I hope I don't see an ectopic pregnancy tonight or something like that because they're fearful of
Yeah.
what, could come of that. They could lose their license, be fined, or jailed.
Yeah, what is that like in Oklahoma? Obviously, they're anti-abortion there, and that's got to put nurses and doctors in a really tight situation. Are you seeing a lot of doctors and nurses just leaving the state, not wanting to deal with the shit?
I've seen a lot of them just quit,
Really?
change careers,
Wow.
just altogether, just change careers.
And we already have
Um,
a shortage, right?
That's like
right,
hard
we
school.
do.
That's hard school devastating. Like, I mean, how do you go through all that schooling, become a nurse and a doctor or whatever, and then just change careers? Like, that says so much that they will do that.
And I mean, I mean, some of my closest friends, that I graduated nursing school with, 25 years they put into this, and they've said, we're done. After what we went through, just the traumatizing part of it alone, we don't want to do it anymore. And then we
Right.
also have the other issue that has come up a lot with Metaflight, you've had one too many beverages and then you get in that accident.
Right.
Firefighters have a lot of trouble with Jaws of Life and putting Teslas out. They burn hotter. There's something, I don't know all the science towards what the firefighters explained to me, but Teslas are dangerous vehicles when it comes to car accidents and what conventionally we were able to use to get someone extracted from a vehicle.
Yeah. Well, Samantha, thank you for coming on. You've been very
Thank you.
informative, and I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for your loss, and I hope things get better generally, but especially down in Oklahoma, because I know it's got to be a tough situation for you.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you very
we're
much.
here
I
for
enjoyed
you.
you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Samantha. We always get good people coming up. Go ahead.
You guys will get a kick out of this. I was reminded earlier, it's like science is woke, math is woke, voting is woke, whatever. You know what else is woke now, apparently? Fucking
What's
share.
that?
Because I got into a fight. I got into a fight with a Trump-la-fuck on a live yesterday when I was trying to look for your live that didn't happen. I got into a fight with a Trump-la-fuck on somebody else's live, and he said something like, "You sound like the kind of guy that would listen to Cher." I'm like, what fucking kind of insult is that? Like, how sad is that?
Well, I tell you what, I like Cher.
Jay, do you
From the
like
time-
Cher?
I'm not a fan per se, but she's got some good stuff.
I just had to ask.
Well, it's really not your generation, though, Jay. So.
It's not. Yeah, it's not your generation.
No, I'm into old music, like not 80s, 90s music. That's old for me. So
Yeah. All right, well, let's pull somebody else up here, somebody we know, somebody we have on frequently, Oliver's mom.
Oliver's mom.
Oliver's mom.
Hi, everybody.
hey,
Yeah, it's crazy, and you had the one guest talking about Florida. I don't see a whole lot of people concerned down here. I was in a restaurant earlier, and there was a wide variety of people in that restaurant. There were Hispanic families. There was a family with a little guy that had two dads. But nobody was talking politics today. And I've
Good.
seen that in other restaurant situations down here too. People just don't seem to be bringing it up in social situations. And, that's good. But sometimes I look around at the families and I wonder if they're truly safe. Because I said there are a lot of Hispanic families out and about restaurants and such. And you can't tell about their status just from looking at them. You just can't.
Do you think a lot of these people who at one point seemed emboldened because they wanted to own the libtards are seeing how badly things are going and they're just a little sheepish about trying to be bold anymore? I would hope that's the case, but I'm not sure they're bright enough to equate that with.
I think so, because it's not like it's not like somebody sitting there next to a Hispanic family and making a comment anymore. There's just not comments being made. They're not commenting about the work staff. They're not commenting about pretty much anything. So everybody is being kind of quiet about it, in my opinion. But I'm real close.
But that used to happen. That used to happen.
Yeah, at times you would see people talking about speak English, go back to where you came from, that type of stuff. And I have never heard that recently down here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but
Wow.
we're I'm less than 10 miles from the southern White House down here. And,
Oh.
I ride by, every weekend I ride by Air Force One if I'm going in that direction, sitting on the tarmac and all that kind of stuff. But,
Do you ever throw up in your mouth a little?
yeah, it's bad. I can basically take a trip. I take when I go to some of my doctors, I ride right past the golf course. I mean, it's everywhere down here, but I don't see a lot of flags anymore. Not a lot of Trump flags anymore. I don't see. We used to have a corner where Trump's supporters would be on the corner, honking and screaming and yelling all weekend long, and I don't see that anymore. I do see a lot of Teslas, but I'm only 5 miles from a Tesla dealership.
Oh, okay.
So I do see a lot of those. And I figured out the other day that I can tell a Tesla from the front because it doesn't have a grill.
Right.
It doesn't have a grill. And I didn't realize that until it was like a, one of those, oh, wow, that's why I can recognize them so easily. But yeah, I mean, I go to my clubs, and we have, a mixed group of my clubs that are up at my community center, and we just don't talk about it. We don't. If we start to talk about it and we get like looks from the other side, we sort of just back off because it's not worth it at that point. One of the clubs I belong to, we actually knit blankets, knit and crochet blankets for hospitals and veterans groups and such. The little lap blankets and everything. So we're not there for politics. We're there for a common cause, whether we're Republicans or whether we're Democrats or MAGA or extreme left or whatever we are. And we're not there to discuss politics and that type of thing. But there are no Trump flags in the community. I don't know if they would make them take them down if they were here. I don't see a lot of stickers one way or the other on any of the cars in my community. I don't know. It's a little weird that it's kind of calm down here. Just at least in my little area.
The one thing in my old age and dealing with Trump-a-fucks this long, I've developed something that I steal from another community, and I've gotten something I call Trump-dar. I can tell a Trump-a-fuck idiot by just the look in their eye or the vacant look in their eye. I go, that's a dumb motherfucker. He's a Trump-a-fuck. So they're going to want to hide, and they're not going to want to be as loud and proud as they once are. But this is going to hang over their shit for a while.
Yeah. Well,
I got a better name for that for you.
What's that?
I got a name for that for you. Doodar.
Doodar.
Yeah. Well, the sad thing about it is I don't see a lot of Democrat or Republican shirts, hats, anything. But I also don't see as much pride stuff anymore. People aren't wearing their pride shirts out or their pride shoes or their pride hats or anything like that. And my son doesn't either anymore. He's trans and he just doesn't wear his stuff out down here in Florida. But he's very happy. He's going to Maryland to stay with the family up there for 2 weeks. And he's so excited about being able to take his pride stuff up there and wear it openly. So that's...
Yeah, it's sad when you're in a country when you can't speak, you don't feel comfortable speaking your mind. Go ahead.
We had a friend at our party last night wearing basically a gay pride shirt. But our local social club where we all know each other from, somebody said, let's go to the club first. And he's like, I can't, I have to change my shirt. He would not wear the gay pride shirt to the club. Like he wouldn't.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. So he wore here with no problem, and because we're all accepting, and he knows that. But he would not wear it to the club. So, that's so telling about everything. Like I said, our radar is constantly on. are you or aren't you? Like, are you with us or not with us? And it's a battle, like, to find that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. Trying to think of what the other thing I wanted to say was, and I'm not catching it right now. Oh, autism. You know, we've talked about the autism a lot tonight, and that's a tough thing too for my son because my son is autistic and has a genetic disorder and has disabilities. And we finally have been trying to get him approved for SSID, and we finally, after 3 months, found out that they're going to push his up to a hearing. And you know that's a good thing because that usually means that we will probably get through and get approval there. But
Yeah.
you know it's taken us a long time. 3 months from the last time we filed the appeal, but we've been going through this process for 2 years now, and it's just it's so hard to get through the process. And you know and I know there's a lot of other people out there that are like that are just have something that should put them in there and should get them a disability, but the process is so long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not getting any better.
No, it's not. And you have to be out of work a full year before you even apply.
Well, just tell your son he's got a kindred spirit in me, okay?
Oh yeah, I know. It's he's actually just jumped onto the live because he's sitting here talking with me, and he jumped onto the live just a minute ago. But it's tough. It's I feel for everybody else that's going through it. I know there's a lot of people out there that are going through it, and I just hope it gets easier for us sooner than later.
Yeah, I do too, and I'm hopeful for that Donald Trump is crashing so many things that we can't be that far off from the end. It just can't continue the way it's going, and I hope, like you say, the sooner the better. I'm going to wrap things up for the Rational Boomer live here. I just want to remind folks, if you didn't hear the whole live, it'll be the Rational Boomer podcast on Spotify, the audio version and the video version on YouTube. It'll go on about sometime after midnight Central Time. So if you missed anything, it's well worth the listen. We've got a lot of smart people that have come on the program that offer a lot of good insight. So Oliver's mom, thank you.
Well, thank you.
TJ the plumber, thank you. Rebecca, happy birthday and thank you. Jay, you got on. Now quit whining about it.
Elbows up, y'all.
Will was with us for a while, and then, of course, all the other folks that showed up on the live. I appreciate it immensely, and I'm thinking maybe we'll do another one on Tuesday or something. I usually do them on Tuesday, so what the hell? Maybe we'll try that. So thank you very much.
This time.
Thank you, Mike.
It's not up to me. It's not up to me. It's up to TJ and Rebecca. If I don't, and Jay, now you're a moderator now too. I changed that, so if you guys are available, I'm here.
I am off on Tuesday, so Tuesday's good.
Okay,
that's good for me
sounds
too.
good. All right. Well, for those of you listening, I want to thank you for taking the time to do that. I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Peow.